TeamLawson channel. I'm Theresa.
I'm Mike.
And we're millennials and we're making it. On our channel, we discuss all things that meet within the intersection of millennial marriage and special needs parenting.
We want to create a community that's both inclusive and encouraging.
So go ahead and hit that subscription button so that we can make our goal of getting to 1,000 subscribers before the end of the year.
And make sure you smash that like button so you can let the algorithm know you think we are awesome.
So today we're going to talk about unconditional love, specifically within a marriage, but when to love your spouse and accept them for who they are, flaws and all, and when to gently and lovingly ask them to change for the sake of your relationship. Do you think people need to change it in order to make relationships work?
Certain degrees, yeah.
How so?
I mean, to me, you know how a person is before you. If we're talking about from a marriage standpoint, okay, you know how a person is before you marry that person.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So you need to. And you're not going to completely change a person. You can't do that. Person.
You're not going to change a person at all. A person will change. You're not going to change them at all.
But I mean, you can ask a person to, and this stuff needs to be discussed before y'all get married again. You can ask a person to change certain habits, you know what I'm saying, or certain actions and things like that when necessary. But like I said before, you know how a person is before you marry.
Right.
So,
I just want to point out too, our laptop fan is like loud, and I can see it being picked up in the mic. If you hear like a white noise sound, that's what that is. I don't know how to get to stop. So,
no worries. But another thing, and when you marry a person, you are marrying their habits and their actions. So,
pick wisely.
Pick wisely.
I think it is. I think it's ridiculous to think that as a person, you change over time. So I think it's ridiculous to think that as a person, you won't change in your marriage or for your marriage. Right? I just don't think that change can come from outside forces. Like, I can bring something to your attention, but I can't change you as a person. And there are some things that, like, are just you.
Yeah.
They're inextricably like you. I joke because I'm like, my husband has ADHD. I genuinely feel like he has some ADHD type traits. I think our daughter gets it from somewhere. One of these things are genetic. And I think it might be a little bit of both of us, if we're honest. I may be ADD. But, and so, like, me asking him to function more executively, right, is a bit cool. And that just means, like, not to be an executive, that just means, like, he can do all the things, but coming up and formulating a plan with how something should go, especially when there are no interests to him, like, it's just cruel and unkind. His brain doesn't work that way. He's just not built that way. Like, he is not interested in cooking. So asking him to plan on...
that's kind of wrong. Huh? I would love to learn how to cook. I'm just not the best planner when it comes to it.
Right. I don't think you would learn how to cook, though.
Would.
But I don't think you like it that much.
I don't. But I mean, but I don't like it. I don't like it.
To learn how to cook.
I don't like it, but I would like to learn.
Okay, you would like to learn.
I mean,
that is different from liking cooking.
What if something
no,
happens?
That's true. I think it's good to like to learn, but I think that's different from liking cooking. I enjoy to cook. And so, like, there was never a point in my life where I was just like, I would like to learn, or I had to make a conscious effort of it, because I enjoyed to be in the kitchen as long as nobody was instructing me and I could do it how I wanted to do it. Sorry, Dad. But But like, it would be cruel. He doesn't really like cooking. He would like to learn, but he doesn't really like cooking. So it would be cruel of me to be like, hey, plan out the meals, write the grocery list, go do the grocery shopping, make the meals.
That's not grocery shopping.
And you did, right? But I gave you a list.
Yeah, I'll take that.
Right.
As long as you give me that, I ain't got no problem.
Like, right. And so he has no problem doing things, but like asking him to organize the doing, like when organizing comes so naturally to me and it's so foreign to him sometimes, like that is, it's unkind for me to ask him to stretch that way. And we're getting into specifics, but when do you think it is okay to come to your spouse and be like, hey, this gonna have to change?
I guess when you see something being a problem, like, right. and it's taking over the relationship.
Right.
And that can be anything.
Anything that brings harm to the relationship or harm to the people in the relationship. Mm-hmm. Like, part of the reason Michael is grocery shopping, because I was overworked and overtaxed. I enjoy to cook. And organizing comes naturally to me, but I don't have enough energy to plan the meals, shop the meals, cook the meals, prep the meals, like all of that stuff. That is the emotional labor of motherhood and wifedom, and like it is unfairly doled out solely to wives and to mothers. But I think if you're going to have a healthy, more egalitarian marriage relationship, like you're gonna have to sit down and figure out like what is this in society and what is actually going to benefit us. And so it benefits us for me to have just like a standard grocery list of things that are always in the fridge, and him to grocery shop. And I'll cook if I ain't got to go to the store. Who stops at Little Caesar's Pizza or at Whataburger on the way home after grocery shopping all day? Me. Got a car full of groceries, but I'm not cooking because I'm tired, right? And so that just frees me up to do things but like that was a significant change for him. And one that he was willing to make, but it had to be vocalized for him to make. What about me? What are some ways where you had to like, hey Theresa, you should change this. You say it to me all the time. If you can't think of it, I'm going to be upset. Because it means it's not that important. Because it means it's not that important. You've been harping on it for 10 years.
About putting stuff up where it goes?
No. That's more recent. And that's why.
No, that ain't recent. Nope.
That is recent.
No, it's not.
That's since I had Maisie.
You've been losing stuff for 10 years.
No. It's been that bad for 10 years? But that's not what I'm talking about, no.
You want to communicate?
Yes.
Them the only two things I can think I've been telling you to do for 10 years.
Well, elaborate, please.
Let me know how you feel. You figure
Not that.
What you mean?
How I talk to people.
Oh, you do. Yeah, you can be a little rough around the edges.
My husband thinks I talk to people cash crazy.
Yeah, you do. I'm just going to keep it above 50.
I think part of it is I do be talking to people crash crazy, but part of it is I am a woman who I am. Sorry. You talk soft. Talk louder. I am a woman who, finally the laptop stopped fanning. I am a woman who speaks very directly, and I have a more androgynous form of communication style, leaning more towards masculine than feminine. And that just means I talk like a man, but I'm a girl. And that bothers people. Not the timbre of my voice.
I know what you're talking about.
I'm talking about the style.
We don't talk to each other like that.
Huh?
Men don't talk to each other.
I'm not talking about the
you
type.
Said masculinity more like a man than a woman.
No, listen. I'm talking about I'm not talking about the timbre of my voice. The tone? No, kind of. I'm not talking about the timbre of my voice, and I'm not talking about the content of what I'm talking about.
The delivery?
I'm talking about the delivery. Like, even my struggle with not talking on top of people, that is a masculine trait. Women are better at taking turns in communication. And that's part of the reason why I find it difficult to communicate with other women, because if I got something to say, I'm finna say
it. You do it with men too.
But men do that when it's men and men communication, and that there is an understanding that whoever is loudest gets to talk. And so that's why when you go into a barbershop, it sounds the way that it does. That's how men communicate. When it comes
to barbershop, I ain't saying nothing. What up, doc? Cut my hair. I'm out here.
When it comes to me communicating with you, I can see how that would be off-putting. Because you are used to a specific style of communication from women that I do not possess. And
no,
so
I'm used to the men's side too. It's just
no, you're used to the men's side coming from a man. You're not used to the men's side coming from a woman. And when we're in relationship, whether we are trying to or not, we are fulfilling male, female,
you're not
husband,
the only one I
wife
dealt
roles.
with like that. I grew up.
But you're the only wife that you've dealt with like that.
Yeah. I mean,
you see what I'm saying? And it's different when it's your homegirl that you look at as a friend. And
I had homegirls like that too.
I'm saying that's why it's different though, because I am not your homegirl. I'm your wife, and so
man, if you don't stop that. Now you call me best friend every day. Now all of a sudden you ain't my homegirl.
You my best friend, but I'm also your
wife.
wife.
What that mean? You my homegirl then?
But I'm also your wife.
Okay, I'm not knocking that.
I'm not saying that you're knocking that. I'm explaining why.
But don't tell the people you ain't my homegirl and you is. Stop acting like that. You my homegirl too.
Okay, I'm your homegirl and I'm your wife, and that is why it's more difficult for you to accept a more masculine style of communication from me on a regular and consistent basis. I think there are some situations where it is fine. When I am in homegirl mode and we're shooting the breeze and we just hanging out and cooling, that's fine. But when we come into conflict and you want to deal with your wife,
I'll tell you, go sit down somewhere. I love you. I do, but that's oh man. All right, I'm shutting up.
I don't like you right now.
You love me.
I love you. I don't like you right now.
Of course you do.
That was very rude.
I'm sorry. I love you though. I like you still.
Well, why would you talk to me like that if you like me?
You tell me the same thing. Stop. Why you be front
I don't do it in front of people. You got to do it in front of the...
Man, you fronting for real today, boy. Boy, she fronting today. Get your head off my shoulder. You're fronting.
No.
No, you fronting.
What are we even talking about?
This girl right here.
What are we talking about?
We having fun.
We are having fun. What were we talking about? What's the topic of this video? Changing. What are some things that you just have to be like, that's just how she is. I'm going to have to leave my wife alone.
It's practically with almost everything. I'm just keeping it a $150.
I know, but I'm talking about, can you name specific things and why you were like, I'm leaving
when you lose stuff, I just like, that's just
I'm talking about, let's be deeper
okay.
than that's kind of superficial. Character-wise. Like
you're a little bossy. That's just who you is.
Yes.
I can tell that's been your whole life, even with your siblings.
It is birth order. It is astrology. It is trauma response.
Astrology? What
like
astrology?
For whatever reason.
The stars and the moon.
No, I'm just saying for whatever reason you want to, like, there is no part of my personality that was not aligned to be bossy. Like my birth order as the oldest daughter makes me a little bit more bossy. My Virgos are very organized and slightly bossy.
You're what?
Technically, according to Virgos. Technically, according to the astrology. I'm not saying
you started doing that.
I'm not saying that I believe in astrology. I'm trying to make the point of everything about me leads me to be more bossy, and so like there are so many hurdles to overcome when it comes to me taking a backseat and let other people take control. I have a maladaptive coping mechanism of like hyper control. Like that makes me most comfortable. That calms my anxiety, but it's maladaptive, so it doesn't work. And so that is my go-to. And so all the people around me bear the brunt of mine. And I think I've gotten a little bit better. No?
I mean, I give you a little bit.
Counseling ain't helping?
It's helping a little bit. You still improving though. I mean, you can't just Rome wasn't built in a day, so you can't just a counselor's not gonna be able to unwrap all that in one day.
No,
you know what I'm saying? So
it has been a year a year with this specific counselor of me getting to the point of, hey, my need to control everything is a trauma response. And I can do better than just responding to everything as if it is trauma.
Oh, that's my question then.
What?
It was a childhood trauma. You said enough.
It was all life trauma.
Mm-hmm.
Like, most, and I said this before in another video, but most of my family is all of the members of my family are anxiously attached. And so that is a learned response. Even my anxiousness is a learned response. There was very little in my upbringing. Like, I had a really, really good childhood, picturesque. Some tragedy, but I think it was dealt with well, right? And so, there are parts of my childhood, there aren't parts of my childhood that would specifically cause me to be more anxious and me to react with hyper control, but at the same time, me reacting to the anxious nature of my surrounding, my family of origin. So, but I know that about myself now. I know that my initial reaction to assume that everything is going to fall apart unless I control it, and so I need to control it, is not correct. Because the world existed before I was here. It will exist after I am gone. And there's very little that I can actually control about the world.
What's that got to do with what we're talking about?
No, I'm talking about my tendency to be bossy, which is one of the things that you said.
I'm trying to figure out what the world has to do
that you have just left me alone to deal with on my devices. Like, you're going to get there when you get there.
What you mean? That's not what I said.
What?
What you mean I left you to deal with that on your devices?
On my own devices, you stop trying to change the fact about me that I'm bossy, and you realize I would come to the conclusion on my own. And I'm slowly coming to that conclusion. And hey, me trying to run everything ain't it. So, yeah. What else? I think for you, one thing that I had to embrace about you specifically, not just...
You're going to get these jokes. All day, every day.
I hate the jokes. That is not one thing that I have come to accept yet. I was speaking specifically more about you just being social. And you needing an outlet every day for your social nature. And it is unfair of me to ask you to be any other way, even if it is more convenient for me, because I am non-social. I realize I am not antisocial. That is a personality disorder. I am just non-social lots of the time. Counseling. There are some ways I am not broken. I just prefer to be at home. There are less situations where I have to control my bossy nature when I'm by myself. And so that just leaves me to have more emotional energy to deal with the situation where I do have to control my bossy nature. If that makes sense? And so, people are recharging for me in very specific ways. When I have an interpersonal relationship with them and I'm able to interact with them one-on-one or in small group, that is recharging for me. Going to a party is not recharging for me. It is draining. Going to being in having multiple relationships that you're juggling at one time and trying to socialize with, that is draining for me. And so I just had to realize that and it's also fulfilling all of his social needs is draining for me. And so he needs friends.
I'll actually go to
No, but what is your social outlet right now? Because we haven't been able to go anywhere. Go anywhere here.
That's not true.
What?
Well, to the movies and out to eat.
We didn't socialize with nobody. We intentionally stayed away from people.
That's I'm talking about situation.
I know, that's what I'm saying. With COVID, it's even more important that you have those avenues, and Twitch has to fill that. Plug your Twitch.
Mike Lawson Mike_Larry 87, and that's also my PlayStation name.
Go over there. It's actually a good time. I'm not a gamer. Every now and then I'll pop in and watch him play. I do like to watch him play the game though. The whole social aspect of it for me is draining, but I can minimize the chat and there it goes. Sorry.
No, it's all good. I ain't mad at you.
But yeah, anything else? If there's one thing that you could change with the way that you've dealt with me over the years, what would that be?
Uh, I don't think. I mean, all I can do is be patient. I don't think I can change
Patience. I think for me, I would have explained to myself early on what things I would have been able. I wish I would have been able to pick up earlier on what things are just you and how your brain works, and what things are me not communicating my needs.
that.
I think that would have been more fair for us. Well, thank you so much for watching. In the comments down below, comment what are some things that you would never change about your partner or significant other or loved one. Something that you would never want to change. I'd love to hear it. Would love to read those. Thank you so much for watching, and I guess we'll see you in the next video.
Stop it.